So yeah, I'm going to be exercising my free will this weekend and enjoying my rent inside my apartment. Which, you know what, who says that doesn't warrant a nice get ready with me makeup session like any traditional outing would. So usually I do my base makeup, like brows and foundation and everything, first off camera to save time, but today I thought, why not just go through the entire step 0 to 100. Disclaimer, the no buy trend is still going very strong in my house for 2026, so I don't really have anything. I have like 2 new items, but yeah, that's it. Everything else is stuff that's already been ever present in my collection, but I thought that it's been a while since we did like a full get ready with me. I'll try to make the editing quick and snappy so that we don't spend forever on any one step, but starting off, I always use the Face Edition Skin Base from Etouce. If it's a really big event or I know I'm going to be gone all night or something, I'll put this all over my face. But typically 99% of the time, I will just put it in my T-zone area, kind of just in the center of my face. And then I spread it out to as far as the product goes. This formula is really good at basically preventing too much oil buildup. And it also gives like a nice pinkish brightening effect. But the main benefit for me is that it's really, really good at locking in or keeping at bay the natural oils of your face. If I don't put this in my T-zone area, it gets oily fairly quickly, and then I find myself either having to oil blot or powder this area for the rest of the day or the night. I've been able to make this bottle last for pretty long so far by just using it sparingly in my T-zone area. Ideally, I'd use it all over my whole face, but it's not the time for that, economically speaking. We need to pick and choose with how we experience our luxury, if you know what I mean. Or at least in my case, that's what it is. Okay, so for foundation, I'm going in with the Maybelline Fit Me Tint in 01. You have to be careful with this bottle because it tends to squirt out. Okay, that was smooth, but I can't tell you how many times I would forget about the finickiness of this squeezy tube and go to squirt the product directly on my face, and then I'd end up with like splashes all over my white shirt. I'm always wearing a white or a cream shirt. I'm gonna take this on a spatula and spread it in one even layer across my face. I'm smoothing out all the hard edges with a regular foundation brush. And then I'm just gonna go over and buff everything out even more with a puff sponge. Honestly, this is still probably my favorite affordable tint slash foundation that gives you that really nice natural glow. I love the finish. I love how it makes me look moisturized without being overly shiny looking. And notice how there's so much product left in this tube, even though I've had this for forever by this point. I'm running out for sure. I can feel that it's a lot lighter than usual, and you can see there's only maybe a third left, but notice how there's so much product in here. Performance level has stayed the same as it did the first day that I purchased it. Unlike certain cushion foundations out there on the market that cost 2 or 3 times even more than this, and they dry out after like 2 weeks. Make it make sense. Let's break the spell of the cushion foundation propaganda. That is one of my secret goals as a makeup influencer, or whatever you could say. So then I go ahead and fill my brows with powder. I basically just use the mid and the dark tone here from my RMK palette. They don't sell this particular brow palette anymore, but I'm not worried because this is probably going to last me at least 5 years. So I'll worry about finding a replacement brow product in 5 years when I actually use up this compact. But yeah, I just take like a precision angle brush, and I actually kind of ignore my natural brow angle, and I opt for a softer angle, like a softer and a straighter brow, just because I feel like that opens up my entire face more. You see, this is not my real brow line, but that's where the precision angle brush comes into play. So I'll totally like fake the shape and then just clean it up later with a Q-tip. Okay, this is even a little thicker, to be honest, than I usually like to go, because I'm really into the thin 90s looking brow these days. I feel like that's what always looked best on my face, to be honest. Since I have like smaller, more delicate looking eyes, I feel like a thick brow tends to overwhelm my eyes. Yeah, we're gonna be careful to not let the width get wider than that. Don't be afraid to correct So the important trick with my brows I've found, if I want to give it that straight, kind of open, innocent look, is that I have to make sure to really make the inner edge of the brow angle slightly up almost. If you look at just where my eyebrow hairs cluster, the instinct is to follow the angle down, but I actively resist that. I actively resist that and just fill in to fit my own agenda, basically, of making my brow look straighter. I'm teaching you all glamour magic, low-key, okay? Okay, I think the shape and the angle of the brows is pretty decent. Do you see how softened my whole expression, my face looks just with this particular shaping of the brows? Remember, eyebrows really do frame your face, and for me as well, you can tell that I opted to elongate them a little bit. So I don't always opt for this. Like I'm okay with shorter brows as well, as long as they are not too close together, or else we start getting into unibrow looking territory. But an elongated brow definitely helps to balance out my features overall as well, because I definitely have a more rounder or square-ish face shape, which I love everything about my face, but I'm just saying there's a balance that we're trying to achieve here, right? Last step for the eyebrows. I don't know what came over me, but I was just really intrigued by this kiss. Isehan Usu Mayu Maker. That means thin eyebrow maker, translated into English, and I just really liked this grayish shade. So I have been holding off on buying a new eyebrow mascara for the longest time because I've been trying to get through this one by heavy rotation, but lately I just cannot deny it anymore. I don't know, I'm kind of sick of the color. I feel like it's oxidized overall. Like, it didn't used to be this dark of a brown. It used to be more ashy, even though there's still plenty of product left in here, and Heavy Rotation is a really popular brand for Japanese eyebrow mascaras, blah blah blah. I'm ready to be done with this one. See, the spoolie is also not even that precision like, and I found that it can be kind of clumsy when I try to coat my individual lashes. Honestly, I'm much happier with this one. You can see it has a thinner tapered spoolie, and the color, which is also very important. You can see it has that ashy gray tone that I'm after. That is all the rage these days. The only thing that's kind of weird about this is the packaging. You see how the cap is a totally different shade from the body of the tube? I thought that was so weird. I'm not gonna lie, I had a fleeting thought that somebody or somebody's kid secretly tampered with this product beforehand, like maybe they switched the caps of two of the shades, but no, it's actually just supposed to be like this. This is how they showed the product in all the promo pictures, so kind of a very strange choice if you ask me, because the shades are like close together and they're not even the same undertone. I don't know, I'm nitpicking. It's honestly not that big of a deal as long as the product works, which it does. So the actual product I'm very satisfied with. You can see that it totally coats your natural lashes and it just gives that grayish effect that I'm after. Apparently I want to look like I'm semi part of the elite in the capital. Next I'm gonna do blush actually. So before blush, wait, let's backtrack. Before blush, I'm going to use this tinted foundation balm by ColourPop to conceal a little bit beneath the eyes. Somebody gifted this to me. It applies on, like it glides on really, really easily. It's a really melty formula, but I have to say that it looks quite atrocious when it dries down. Hold on, I'll just show you after I finish blending it out. First of all, it doesn't meld into the skin. It kind of just sits on top. And no matter how much you try to brush or tap it into your skin, it kind of just, yeah, it's hard to get it to melt in with the rest of my face. It's not so bad right now because I just applied it, but it's gonna get so patchy in a minute. And it also emphasizes all my pores. It's never a good sign when your skin actually looked better before you applied the product. I feel like that's what the case is every time I use this ColourPop tinted foundation balm. I don't know. It's what I have on hand, so I'm gonna use it. I refuse to buy another concealer for as long as I can help it because I'm starting to feel like concealers are also a huge gimmick / cash grab. Because like, what do you mean that you just formulated this product that is basically foundation, but it's just slightly more pigmented, and you're charging 400% or more the price of foundation per gram or per liquid ounce, whatever the measuring unit is. make it make sense. Okay, so before eyes and everything, I'm gonna do blush. Don't ask me why, but all of a sudden I have become obsessed with using up my Can Make Cream Cheek in PO1. Probably the oldest Can Make blush item I own at the moment, so hence why I decided that I should finish this one up first in terms of, you know, Project Pan and all of that, because it's so good and I do like this formula. This is still my favorite cream blush formula across all levels, like drugstore brands, department store brands, I don't care. Can Make Cream Cheek formula has got all of them beat. Since I have a one-track mind, I'm pretty much gonna have to just continue using this one exclusively. And then after this one is done, I'm gonna go back to the powder cheeks by Can Make, which I already made a huge dent in, as you can see. And then after this one, I might go ahead and pick up the new gradient cheek. I don't know the official name, but there's going to be a new blush released by Can Make soon, and it looks like this really cute gradient situation. I could have sworn that they said that one was going to be released near the end of March, and well, it's March 28th, and I haven't seen it anywhere on shelves near me, so once I see it, I will make sure to snatch it up. But yeah, basically, Can Make has an entire monopoly on my cheek game these days. My cheeks are exactly where they want to be in their relationship with Can Make. And my lips are almost exclusively reserved for higher end brands because I just prefer the formulas, the undertones, the finishes, and all of that. That's a lot of blush. I would probably tone it down to about half of this intensity if I was stepping outside, but we're getting ready for the camera today. It's been a while. Let's see how this pretty fresh balm has settled in. Okay, it's kind of pissing me off that it actually looks good today, but that's only because my skin is in top tier condition. The fact that my skin is already super smooth and poreless, I feel like that has a lot to do with why this is not looking so bad. But trust me, there are days when my skin is a little drier or just not in tip-top condition, and this foundation stick dries down really horribly. It's like patchy, it'll emphasize texture and all of that, but yet I'm just gonna keep using this for the time being because it is a slightly lighter shade than the rest of the foundation on my face. That's the most important thing, I guess, for me in a highlighter. Ooh, you know what would really expose this formula is if I put it in my T-zone area. Why am I actively trying to make my makeup look bad? Clearly, I just have it out for this pretty fresh foundation stick. It's not that it's super bad or anything like that. I just feel like it has no long-lasting capabilities whatsoever. Because, I don't know, I just feel like if a formula is going to break down so quickly on relatively really good, well-balanced skin such as mine, then how would it fare on somebody who has a little more of an oilier complexion or, you know, other problems like acne or whatever that they would want to cover up? This definitely has almost zero coverage capability, I'll tell you that. But you know what? As far as just keeping it around to brighten certain areas, fine, I can work with it. I may have just taken a 3 to 4 hour break to go eat and run errands and stuff like that, but now we are back, okay? And we're not skipping a beat, so let me put on my eye primer. Actually, let me show you the palette that I have been loving lately for just my daily eye look. You're not gonna believe it, but the Grinch palette by ColourPop, well, maybe you can believe it because I have used this a handful of times since this year started, but I am just obsessed with, in particular, this Cindy Lou Who glitter shade up here. This is like hands down the best glitter topper shade that I've tried in a long time. Yeah, like this glitter has just the right amount of moisture in the formula to help it really stick on the lid, even on top of multiple other layers of eyeshadow. Okay, I feel like I got a little bit oily in the past 3 to 4 hours. See, it's the ColourPop foundation stick, I'm telling you. Remember I put some of it on my T-zone area? If I didn't do that, then I wouldn't have a shiny T-zone area because it would have been taken care of by the Etuse face primer. But since I put this on top, I now have to go in with my Bobbi Brown powder, believe it or not. I can't stand like an overly greasy looking face. I still haven't found that balance between greasy looking and dewy looking. I don't know if I'm just overthinking it, but I feel like there's a definite difference. And more often than not, I veer into the greasy category. So I'm still trying to, you know, find my perfect glowy glass skin situation. I mean, honestly, this Fit Me tint brings me pretty close, like especially after I've freshly applied my makeup. But the problem is what comes afterwards, right? Maybe I need to start getting into setting sprays. I avoid them because I'm not trying to add more steps into an already very full makeup routine, but maybe it couldn't hurt to try. Okay, let me put on some eye primer. And then let me just show you my literal favorite everyday eye combo of the moment. I literally just use 3 shades, like this one, nice little neutral pink for all over the lid, this maroon shade for some definition, and then that amazing peachy champagne pressed glitter that we were talking about earlier. I've just lost patience with half these, you know, barely there pigmented Asian eyeshadow palettes. Like, yes, there's a time and place. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of eyeshadow palettes from Asian brands that I like, but nothing cuts quite to the chase like a classic pigmented budget ColourPop palette. Okay, boom. And then I want to do like a very eye-opening eyeliner technique today, so I'm gonna make sure to bring this color down well below the lower lash line. See, at first it's gonna look like I took it down a lot, but after I add in the tear back makeup, it's gonna look just right. Just trust the process, as you know. Ooh, gotta be careful with that fallout. Okay, this literally just got all over my nose. Maybe I should use a fluffier brush. Ah, look at how wet this glitter looks. It's so good. And it stays at this intensity too for quite some time. That's another thing I find really impressive about this formula. Boom. That was so easy and straightforward to lay down the foundation for this eye look. I can guarantee you if I tried doing a similar look with one of the Asian branded eyeshadow palettes, maybe not C Beauty, because C Beauty does have some pretty pigmented palettes. If I tried to do this look with a Dayseek palette or whatever, it would have taken me like 500 years to build up the pigment, okay? But with ColourPop, even though I'm still sticking to like a very wearable neutral pinky mauve color palette, the pigmentation in the shadows make it so easy to just lay down the exact colors that I want and keep it moving. I happen to have a Can Make Creamy Touch liner, which pretty much matches exactly the eyeshadow shades that I have on today. This is in number 13 from the Strawberry collection, Blood Strawberry. Okay, so I'm gonna use this to line my lower lash line, but I'm going to kind of extend it out. Instead of following the lash line closely to the edge, I'm going to like extend it out or extend it lower past the lash line for an opening up effect. And let me just blend it out as well so that it doesn't look so harsh, although I don't really mind if you can see the fact that it looks like a solid line, because again, I think it's gonna tie in together when I put the rest of the Aegyo makeup on. But my god, why is there like a rogue hair? I don't know where my scissors are. Can I just hack this off with a paper cutter? Okay, so I'm just gonna smudge it out a little bit so that the line doesn't look harsh. Then, actually before I finish the tear bag, I want to put the eyeliner on. So I'm gonna do like a very, very lifted winged liner today. I'm all about achieving that super dolly look. I'm gonna do the same thing as I did on the lower lash line, essentially, which is that I'm gonna hug the liner. Ooh. Oh my god, I forgot that. This liner is like very inky all of a sudden. I think it's leaking. This is by Peri Pera. Okay, I thought it might have been She Glam or something, but no, it's actually a legit K-beauty brand, so I don't know why it's leaking. Ooh, okay. Let me soak that off first. Definitely something wrong with the mechanism, but you know what? We're gonna use what we have. I'm literally going to already start lifting the liner off of the edge of the lash line from right here. You see that? If I'm lucky, the leaky liner is not going to totally ruin my entire makeup. You know what? I'm just gonna switch to a new liner because I feel like that one is a lost cause. So this one is from Judy Doll, the Judy Doll Slim Liquid Eyeliner. Very aptly named. And let's hope that this one is gonna give me more precision. Ooh, yes, this is the super thin brush. Damn, I should have just used this one from the beginning. Let's do it again on this eye. So about like 2/3 of the way to the edge, I'm just gonna take it straight out basically. Of course, it's gonna take a little bit of finessing to make it past the fold in my eye. But yeah, basically you want the shape to be like this, almost like a little hook when your eyes are closed, so that when you open them, it'll go follow the actual curve of your eye. If you happen to have the exact same type of eyes as me, which is quite rare apparently, even in the Asian community. Okay. There might actually be such thing as a brush being too thin, because it's kind of hard for me to keep a steady hand to draw the exact shape that I want. Definitely the left side is far superior to the right side, but it's okay, we're just gonna roll with it. I guess the point is sometimes I just wanna go super crazy with my eyeliner and take it all the way out, and then I remember that, wait a minute, I can do that. But it just requires like a little more playing around with the technique and the actual shape of the liner to figure out how I can make it look harmonious with my particular eye shape. But yeah, ignore the botched right side and just focus on this sharp stiletto lifted wing we have on the left side. So we just have to do, let me see, do I want to do lashes first? I'll do lashes first. Yeah, because I have to curl my lashes. Oh my god, the last chunk of my Dazone tear bag pencil just literally broke off. Good thing I have another one. Not missing one beat over here. Okay, now I'm nervous because I don't want to break this one as well. Just blend it out. And then I'm going to set it with the Plum Liquid Coordinate Eyes palette from CanMake. Literally the same routine that I've done 1,000 times over for the tear bag area. Just gonna add some more blush because I had to rearrange my contacts a little bit with the best contact solution that I've ever tried in my life. I have to do like a separate reel or something about this alone, because talk about actual life-changing product. I don't know if this counts as makeup per se, but I'm lumping it into the whole self-care / makeup category. But yeah, I feel like it rubbed off quite a bit of the blush from my cheeks. Also, there was just natural fading because I did take that 4-hour break. So that's the thing about CanMake blushes. They're not the most long-lasting, but they don't disappear completely either. Like, you can definitely get good pigmentation for at least 4 to 5 hours. I think applying with a finger also helps it pack on thicker and stay on longer. Okay, so finally we have lips, which I'm just going to use the same ColourPop lippy pencil from the Bratz collection. It's called Bunny Boo. I like to use it as a My Lips But Better liner. Actually, sometimes I will cover pretty much like the whole lip almost, especially if I go over it with a gloss, which is what I normally do 9 out of 10 times. In other words, I basically do the same lip combo over and over again, sometimes with slightly different products from different brands switched out, but at the end of the day, it's basically a rosy pink My Lips But Better lip liner plus a clear gloss. Now, that clear gloss of the day happens to be the original Juicy Tube from Lancome in Marshmallow Electro. I finally ordered this online after discovering that they were out of stock at my nearest Lancome counter. And I have to say, I am a little underwhelmed. Yeah, let me just apply it. So I'm very careful to put on a very thin layer because it is very sticky, just as sticky as I remember from like 20 years ago, and you have to wait for it to settle a little bit. But once it does, I do really like the plumping effect. However, like I suspected, it's just a tad too sticky for me, and not to the point where I would stop using it. And I'm not even gonna say that I was disappointed, but I am underwhelmed. I'll say that. It works out when I put on very deliberately a thin layer, but you guys know I really have a tendency to just load the lip products on, and I kind of appreciate it more when a formula allows me to do that without ruining my entire lip look. You know what I mean? Because if I put on too much, it will start to look really gloopy and heavy. Like, you can see how heavy it is. Even now, when I press my lips together, you can see those lines. I don't like that at all. So I'm a little bit underwhelmed. What can I say? It wasn't everything that I was building it up to be in my mind. As far as a multi-purpose clear light pink lip gloss goes, I have to say RMK has the best formula. This one beats out the Juicy Tube by far. I'm sorry to say, but this one gives me the same amount of glossiness, shininess, without the excessive, almost glue-like stickiness of the Juicy Tube formula. I would say honestly the only like positive point that the Juicy Tube has over the RMK is that this one does have that kind of nostalgic vanilla scent. I mean, I don't particularly love the scent, but it's just very nostalgic for me. Like, it takes me back to a time, whereas the RMK is more scentless, pretty much completely scentless. Yeah, and this one feels more minty on the lips, but performance wise and comfortability wise, I do have to say that the RMK has won out. So the RMK Lip Luminizer is what this gloss is called, and my other favorite, the YSL Love Shine Candy Glaze in number 2. I have to say, at the end of the day, both of those have beat out the Lancome Juicy Tube in my book, which is kind of a bummer, because honestly, if the Juicy Tube had lived up to my expectations a little better, I would have been open to buying a few more shades. I would have looked forward to collecting, a couple of different shades. But I think at this point, I've used this a couple times now. Like, no matter what I do, even if I clean up the insides with a Q-tip, it's still that heavy stickiness is just kind of a little bit overkill for me. I'm gonna keep using it sparingly until the entire tube is used up, but after that, I don't think I'm gonna be repurchasing or looking into these anymore. Oh yeah, and I actually have like a better way to wear this to ensure that it's a little more comfortable on my lips. Ironically, I forgot about today on my get ready with me filming day because I was preoccupied with the lip liner, but usually what I do is I make sure that I put on some sort of lip balm underneath. Just like a regular drugstore lip balm is fine, but something to create a barrier between the Juicy Tube formula and my natural lips, just so that my lips don't have to bear the full brunt of the stickiness of this formula. I find that it's a really good balance when I put on a layer of lip cream beforehand. So again, I kind of forgot today, which is why it's feeling extra sticky. I'm not even trying to exaggerate. It feels like I can barely talk at this point. In fact, you know what? I might as well. I'm gonna go take this off and put this on underneath, because that's how much it's bothering me. I'll be right back. Oh, I can't stand this. Why is it like making those sticky lines? I'd probably fare better by applying with a lip brush, but who has time for that? Okay, so this is how it looks with the lip balm on underneath, which is what I normally opt for anyway. And you can tell there's not too much change with the look of it, but it is a little bit just smoother and plumper. Most importantly, a hell of a lot more comfortable for me. I can feel the heaviness and the stickiness of the Juicy Tube, but it's not like directly onto my lips. I have that buffer of the lip balm. See, it's still bunches up at the sides though. Do you see what I mean? Like, this is you could say in a way I'm getting the most authentic early 2000s nostalgic makeup experience that you possibly can. But yeah, I think it works well layered on top of the lip balm. Now that it's had time to settle in, I really like the slight plumping effect that it gave to my lips as well. But okay, so this is my final look. The new everyday kind of amped up glam that I've been loving lately. Who knew that a ColourPop Grinch palette and me would get along so swimmingly, huh? I'm gonna call it. I think this palette is shaping up to be kind of like my palette of the year, in a way. I've just installed a fresh new set of press-ons as well. 500 yen, you guys. 500 yen from Shein. You cannot tell me that these do not look salon painted on. Look at that. Thanks for getting ready with me to enjoy my rent, essentially. And I mean that in the most literal sense of the word, okay? I'm gonna keep my butt right here in this chair and go on to film another video. I hope you all are prioritizing yourselves as well, enjoying your rent, okay? If you feel the strain of the economical times that we're in right now, don't get caught up in the FOMO or the keeping up with the Joneses game. Like, don't do it, girl. It's not worth it. Look out for it yourself and your financial security first. I am am trying to lead by example by practicing what I preach on this channel. Even if that results in fewer views or less virality in my videos because I don't have the latest and hottest new product, I don't care, okay? I am happy with my 1 or 2 little splurges here and there. I am happy with, you know, serving as the voice of reason and helping to de-influence some of you that might be feeling a little bummed out or what have you, because you might not be able to participate in some of the trends or the new releases the way that you want to. I'm just here to remind you, don't get caught up in the FOMO. I'm here to break the illusion. Don't fall for the hype. It's really not worth it. Like, you will get the dopamine hit for about 10 seconds and then you'll go right back to baseline level, okay? If it's the dopamine hit that you're after, you can do that by shopping your stash. You can do that by enjoying your rent. Remember, the party is where you are. It's where you bring the energy. It's not outside of you. Not to be found in the newest, overpriced, make-up release gimmick item thing that turns out to be just an old trend that has been repackaged. Like, don't fall for the smoke and mirrors, okay? The Wizard of Oz is not a real wizard. The magic is in you. And with that, thank you for watching as usual. I will link everything that I used today down below as always, just in case you're interested in some of the items that I did use. So yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye. What do you guys think of the Juicy Tube series? Do you think it's an iconic nostalgic moment, or do you think it's about time we move past it, or that they reformulated to reflect the preferred lip gloss formulation of the times that we're living in now?